Hello, YouTube and DigiFam. It is Prodigious, and I am here to share with you a fun little wacky deck that I have been playtesting from EX6. Now, this is going to be a purple base, and yes, it does include Okumon. Don't worry, I'm not going crazy with it. It's just the 4-1 of. But this is the Journey to the West deck. So, starting off, we have a Demi-Marymon as our egg. On deletion, by trashing one level 5 or higher Digimon, you draw 2. Next, I'm running 4 copies of Candlemon from BT15. On deletion, if your opponent has 1 or less memory, you draw 1. If your opponent has 1 or more memory, gain a memory. So this works kind of interesting because, as you can see, we're trying to focus with our purple base to go ahead and get some cheeky swings in early game while drawing our deck to try and help us dig to get our additional pieces. So this works out great because we can draw 1, and if it happens to get deleted while it's on the board during the opponent's turn, we can steal away a memory and help it go back to our turn just a little bit faster. Not a lot, but every bit helps. Then I'm running 4 copies of Tapirmon from BT2. It kind of works out pretty nicely because he is a vaccine and a holy beast. On deletion, you draw 1. Then we are running a couple of the Ukomons from BT16. Your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon moves from the breeding area to the battle area, reveal top 3, add 1 Digimon or Tamer among them to your hand, and return the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order, and you may hatch in your breeding area. So this one version of an Ukomon helps a lot with us trying to speed through our lower end to help our card draw and digging. And then we do run a single copy of Eismon, because if need be, we could Evo to help draw on top of our 8 rookies. But mainly, we could also just hard play this guy when we do see him for 4, let him get deleted when we swing, draw 3, trash 2, same old good old times. Now, on to the actual Journey of the West style of play this deck offers. We have 1 copy of BT10 Sanzomon. It's just another copy that had that name. Its Wind Digivolving effect will never come up because we're not Evoing. Pardon me. But its inheritable is when attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets security attack -1. Then we have 2 copies of BT12 Gokuamon. Now, Gokumon here has when you would play this card from your hand, if your opponent has a Digimon with security attack, minus or plus, reduce the Digimon's cost by 3. So it goes from a 6 to a 3 cost. And just like Sanzomon we just saw, it has when attacking once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn as the inheritable. Again, this is only in here at a couple of copies just to add to the name, and mainly because, just like in the original Journey to the West story, Sanzo and Goku go hand in hand. Now, we're definitely running 4 copies of everything else that is Journey to the West that we got from EX6. We are running 4 copies of Sanzomon, who has on play and when attacking, 1 Digimon gains security attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. Then if Digicrossing, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Gokumon, Sangomon, Chohakmon, and a Shakamon among them to your hand. So this is going to be our ideal searcher. This will be the one that you want to try and get the most use out of. It also has all turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, return one yellow Digimon card. Oh, pardon me. From this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the hand. You can also Digicross and -2 for its cost by using a Gokumon, Sangomon, or a Chohakomon, respectively. It might look like you can probably reduce its cost a lot more, but it only reduces it by 2 because you're only putting one of the other 3 underneath it. So this does cost 5 to essentially play. When attacking once per turn, one Digimon may gain Security Attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. Next, we're running 4 copies of the Chohakomon from EX6. This is the team's dedicated blocker, basically. It has that same similar effect of Digicrossing for -2 if you were to use rather a Sanzo, a Goku, or a Seigomon. So one of the other 3. Same thing, all turns. When this Digimon would leave the battle area, you can return a yellow Digimon from its sources to the hand. Otherwise, it has on play and when attacking, one Digimon may gain Security Attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. Then, if Digicrossing, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP and gains Blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. Inheritable is when attacking once per turn, one Digimon may gain Security Attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. Then we have Seigomon. So same thing, Digicrosses for -2 if you use Sanzo, Goku, or Chohakomon. Any of the other 3. All turns, same thing. If it were to leave the battle area, you can return a yellow Digimon from its sources to hand. On play, when attacking, one Digimon gains Security Attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. Then if Digicrossing, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until the end of their turn. Inheritable is when attacking, one Digimon may gain Security Attack minus until end of your opponent's turn. So that is our Journey to the West team, along with Gokumon here. On play, when attacking, something gains Security Attack minus, and then if Digicrossing, delete an opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. Same all turns effect if it were to leave the battle area, return a source, and it can Digicross if you use Sanzo, Sago, or Chohakomon for -2. And then same inheritable, when attacking once per turn, one Digimon gains Security Attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. And to go with that, we have the big bad that you're doing all this early game swinging and digging all for this Shakamon. Now, I have actually hard played this without actually having all 4. Like, I've done it when I've only had 3 of the 4 pieces. I've done it when I've had only 2 of the 4 pieces. It doesn't matter as long as you can make this body stick on the board long enough. And here's why. So it can Digivolve potentially from a level 6 for 4. It can also Digivolve from any of our 4 Journey to the West crew for 6. So it can go straight from a level 5 into this level 7 for a 6 cost. Usually I had just hard played this thing and Digicrossed with it, because this card actually allows you to -2 for each of the 4 you shove underneath it. So instead of it being a 15 cost, it goes way down. Alright, so on play and when Digivolving, all Digimon gain Security Attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. So that doesn't mean just what's in play, that means everything. If it's in breeding area and it pulls out, it's Security Attack minus. If they play something and it has Rush and Blitz, Security Attack minus. Everything has Security Attack minus. So for that whole turn, nothing can touch you. Or at least your security anyway. All turns, when this Digimon would be deleted or returned to the hand or deck, you may play one Sanzomon and one Goku, Seigo, or Chohakumon from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. So if it were to go away, you get at least a guarantee 2 out of the 4 bodies that are potentially underneath it. Then, all turns, or not all turns, your turn, all of your Digimon Security Attack minuses are turned into Security Attack pluses. So that's right, you actually can trigger all those inheritables of giving at least something Security Attack minus to yourself, which then in turn becomes Security Attack pluses. I've had games of where I will hard play this, and the next turn I swing, I choose 2 of my opponent's Digimon, I give them Security Attack minus on each, and then I use the remaining 2 Security Attack minuses on myself to actually swing for a grand total of 3 checks. But that's not all. The coup de grace is end of opponent's turn once per turn. You may place 1 Digimon card with Security Attack whatever on top of its owner's Security Attack. So, mainly I use this to get rid of my opponent's board. Yes, I'm technically helping them recover, but I'm getting a body off the board, which means it's 1 less body for them to swing with or to do whatever it's doing. Plus, when I do swing again, I'm usually pumping myself up with enough security checks because of how it works that it does not matter. So that is the big boss monster of the deck. Now, our backup monster here, we are running 2 copies of Venusmon, because a couple of games have come up, rarely, where I preferred her out on the field before I even got Shakamon out. When digivolving, all your opponent's Digimon gain Security Attack minus until the end of your opponent's turn. And then opponent's turn, your opponent's Digimon with Security Attack plus or minus can't attack this Digimon, and any when digivolving and when attacking effects of those Digimon don't activate. I've actually gotten this out over Shakamon up against Magna X. Yes, I'm talking about the Magna X that is the big boogeyman of the format at times right now. Of where if he has his protection up, it seems scary. Nope. All you have to do is just wait until the right moment when they're vulnerable. Hit them with this. And now their effects can't activate, because their effect that gives them that protection that triggers is technically a when digivolving effect. And if they can't use when digivolving effects, that means it won't activate. Alright, now, on to the rest of the deck. I'm running a single copy of Junimon. This could come out for something else. I decided to run this in here because I actually had a game of where I actually was burning through my Shakamons at a crazy rate just to try and control the board and win a game. So I decided to include this as a last-minute ditch effort to just have some recycling, because this level 6 can digivolve from a level 5 yellow for 3. It has retaliation, but mainly when digivolving, I trash the top 3 cards of my deck. Then I return 1 Digimon card from my trash to my hand. Doesn't specify a level, a trait, or a type, or a color, just return a Digimon. So with that being said, we're also including a little mini purple package since we have a purple base. I have 4 copies of Lament of Friendship. Same reason as I just now said. It's going to be an option that you can pay for 3. And you just instantly grab back a Digimon. Doesn't matter what color or level or type it is. You just get back a Digimon from your trash. to go and coincide with some of our trashing that we do in the deck, and to give us a memory fixer. And for the sake of color matching for our option cards, I'm running the Star Deck 16 Matte Ashita. At least 2 copies of those. I'm running 3 copies of Grizzly Wing. It's a 2-cost option. You can play a level 3 purple Digimon from the trash without paying the cost. You do not activate any on-play effects, and its security effect is the same thing. So essentially, this just becomes another duplicate copies of our rookies that we've already gotten, like the Tapirmon and Candlemon. And last but not least, because we do seem to have a variety of colors, if for some reason, while we have bodies on board, if we need to help clear out some other bodies on the board while we're trying to get to our big boss monster, I run a couple copies of Heaven's Judgment. While you control a green tamer or a Digimon, you may use it without meeting its color requirements, but it's a yellow option card, and most of our stuff is yellow, so not a problem. Main effect, activate the effect below, and then for each color among Digimon you have in play, activate the effect again. So one of your opponent's Digimon gets -6. So for each color, we're going to do -6 on top of the initial -6. So if we have one of our purples out, we have an Ukomon out, we have a Goku and a Sanzo that is red, yellow, purple, and white. So that's going to be 5 instances of -6 all over our opponent's board. Granted, that is the biggest weakness of it, is being able to actually have the bodies on board to do that. So mainly that card only really comes up while we have bodies on the field. If we somehow lose our bodies before we can trigger this card, then yeah, kind of hurting. I'm looking for an alternative to use as a nice way to remove some troublesome threats on the board while we're trying to work up into our big guy, but that's what I've gotten so far. Anyway, I do know from playing, I have seen some other people playing a variant of this deck that uses, what is it called? I forget. It is the, from EX5, the blue rookie bunny of the night and day, like Nightclaw, whatever trait rookie that has the ability of start your main, you can bounce one of your Digimon to gain 2 memory. Like I've seen them using that in combination with like a red egg. And I think it's usually like been the Digimon for Guillaumon, and they run the Guillaumon promo that says when attacking, draw a card, and of course a couple of Ukomons. I have seen that deck be played. It does kind of work, especially with the whole heavy-handed cost of hard playing some of your level 5s. So I'm not knocking it. I would have to actually see the full list myself and to actually play against it more often than I have to really see. But when I have played against it, I believe in the end my deck managed to get more momentum going because my lower end can just swing in and get what it needs to done in terms of chip damage while digging for my pieces. But I could be wrong. If you know that type of deck list, by all means, share it with me or share me your thoughts on it. But this has been the Journey to the West deck and Prodigious. Until then.